Gyanesh Kumar appointed as the new Chief Election Commissioner of the country. Appointment made under new law. Gyanesh Kumar will serve as the Chief Election Commissioner until 26 January 2029. Successful visit of the Amir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, to India. Key agreements made in trade, security, and energy sectors. A new turn in the relations between both countries. Vaccine to be launched for cancers affecting women, expected to be available within 5 to 6 months. Breast cancer poses a major threat to women in India. The 78th BAFTA Film Awards concluded. The Conclave and The Brutalist won multiple awards. Payal Kapadia's film All We Imagine as Light did not win. Recently, Gyanesh Kumar has been appointed as the Chief Election Commissioner of India. This decision has been taken by a 3-member committee chaired by the Prime Minister. It is noteworthy that Gyanesh Kumar is the 26th person to be appointed as the Chief Election Commissioner, replacing Rajiv Kumar. His tenure will end on 26 January 2029. He has previously served as an officer of the Indian Administrative Service from the 1988 batch of the Kerala cadre. It is important to note that the Chief Election Commissioner is the head of the Election Commission of India. The commission consists of the Chief Election Commissioner and other commissioners. Their appointment is made by the President of India. Their tenure is 6 years or until the age of 65, whichever is earlier. They are entitled to the same salary, allowances, and other benefits as those of a Supreme Court judge. For information, the Election Commission is a permanent and independent body. It was established by the Indian Constitution to conduct free and fair elections in the country. According to Article 324 of the Constitution, the Election Commission is responsible for the conduct, direction, and control of elections for the Parliament, state legislatures, President, and Vice President. It is noteworthy that the Election Commission has no role in the elections for panchayats and municipalities in the states. Separate state election commissions have been provided for such elections under the Indian Constitution. Regarding the powers of the Election Commission of India, it functions as an administrative, advisory, and quasi-judicial body. It also determines the boundaries of all Indian constituencies under the provisions of the Representation of the People Act. Moreover, it periodically registers electoral rolls and eligible voters. The Amir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, recently made an official visit to India. In Qatar, the position of Amir is equivalent to that of the head of state. During this visit, he met Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Several important agreements were made to strengthen the strategic partnership between the two countries. Additionally, a revised agreement on the avoidance of double taxation and prevention of fiscal evasion was made to combat tax evasion between India and Qatar. Both sides also agreed to initiate talks on the bilateral investment promotion and protection agreement. India is Qatar's third largest trade partner. Qatar is also the largest supplier of LNG and LPG to India. Similarly, India exports grains, steel, iron, and machinery to Qatar. Furthermore, agreements have been made with India's CII and Invest India to promote trade and investment. In addition, Qatar's National Bank has announced plans to set up an office in Gujarat's Gift City. Discussions were also held on India's free trade agreement with the GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council, of which Qatar is a key member. For information, Qatar is a West Asian country, one of the 7 nations that make up the Arabian Peninsula. It shares its border with Saudi Arabia and is surrounded by the Persian Gulf. According to recent news, India is set to purchase 5th generation fighter aircraft. India has 2 options to buy these fighter aircraft. One option is Russia's fighter aircraft Su-57, while the other option is America's fighter aircraft F-35 Lightning II. Both countries wish to sell their fighter aircraft to India. Notably, both aircraft were showcased at Aero India 2025. Regarding the fighter aircraft Su-57, Sukhoi 57 is a twin-engine stealth multi-role fighter aircraft. It was developed by Russia's Sukhoi company in December 2020. It is a fifth-generation stealth multi-role fighter aircraft. It is designed for air superiority and strike missions. Its maximum speed is Mach 2, and its combat range is approximately 1,900 kilometers. It is noteworthy that the Su-57 uses Russia's Saturn AL-41F1 afterburning turbofan engine. Regarding the fighter aircraft F-35 Lightning II, it was manufactured by Lockheed Martin. It is a single-engine stealth fighter available in 3 variants. Its maximum speed is Mach 1.6 and its combat range is 1,500 kilometers. Notably, the F-35 is equipped with the world's most powerful engine. It has a fuel capacity of 18,498 pounds and can carry a payload of 8,160 kilograms. Recently, the Secretary of Financial Services, M. Nagaraju, stated that the government is considering increasing the current deposit insurance cover limit of Rs 5 lakh for bank deposits. It is noteworthy that deposit insurance cover is provided by the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation, a special division of the Reserve Bank of India. This decision is being taken due to the Rs 122 crore embezzlement case at New India Cooperative Bank. Following the embezzlement, the RBI has imposed several restrictions on New India Cooperative Bank. Talking about DICGC, it is the short form of the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. The objective of the DICGC is to protect small depositors from the risk of losing their savings in the event of a bank's insolvency. It is noteworthy that the insured bank pays the premium for deposit insurance. DICGC collects premiums from member financial institutions at either a uniform or differentiated rate depending on the risk profile of the bank. Notably, DICGC does not provide insurance for amounts deposited by foreign, central or state governments or interbank deposits. Regarding the Reserve Bank of India, it was established on 1st April 1935 under the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. Its headquarters is in Mumbai. It is the Central Bank of India. Currently, Sanjay Malhotra is the governor of RBI. Recently, the Ministry of Health has made a major announcement to prevent cancer. According to the ministry, a vaccine for cancers affecting women will be available within 5 to 6 months. This vaccine will be administered to girls aged 9 to 16 years. The vaccine is expected to help prevent oral, cervical, and breast cancer in women. According to the Ministry of Health, the research for the vaccine has almost been completed and trials are being conducted. Additionally, women over the age of 30 will need to undergo tests at hospitals. It is noteworthy that daycare cancer centers will be established for the early detection of the disease. Furthermore, the government has waived customs duties on medicines used for cancer treatment. According to the ICMR National Institute of Cancer Prevention and Research in India, 1 woman dies of cervical cancer every 8 minutes. Meanwhile, 1 in every 2 women suffering from breast cancer in India dies from it. In India, approximately 1 in 9 people faces cancer in their lifetime. While lung cancer cases are most common in men, breast cancer is the most common cancer among women. Recently, there has been an increase in measles cases in the US state of West Texas. These figures are the highest recorded in the past 3 decades. The outbreak is being seen in communities where vaccination has not been carried out. To control this situation, state health officials have accelerated efforts in vaccination and testing. Measles is a highly contagious and severe airborne disease. It is caused by a virus from a Paramyxoviridae family. Its spread typically occurs through direct contact or through the air. The virus infects the respiratory tract and then spreads throughout the body. It can lead to severe illness, complications, and even death. The first symptom is usually a high fever, which begins approximately 10 to 14 days after exposure to the virus and lasts for 4 to 7 days. In its early stages, symptoms can include a runny nose, cough, red eyes, and small white spots inside the cheeks. It most affects unvaccinated young children and pregnant women. For information, there is currently no specific antiviral treatment for measles. Recently, the 78th BAFTA Film Awards were held at the Royal Festival Hall in London. In BAFTA 2025, The Brutalist and Conclave won 4 awards each. Among these, Conclave received Outstanding British Film, Best Film and Editing awards, while The Brutalist won the Direction Award for Brady Corbett. Meanwhile, Indian filmmaker Payal Kapadia was once again disappointed. Her film, All We Imagine as Light, lost the BAFTA award for Best Non-English Language Film to the French film Emilia Perez. It is noteworthy that Payal Kapadia's Malayalam Hindi film, All We Imagine as Light, was nominated for the 2025 BAFTA Awards. Speaking of the BAFTA Awards, BAFTA stands for British Academy of Film and Television Arts Awards. It is a prestigious award given by the British Academy for outstanding contributions in the fields of film, television, and other art. It was founded in 1947. Notably, the first BAFTA award was presented in 1949. It is significant that these awards recognize both British and international artists and productions equally. The ceremony is typically held at London's Royal Albert Hall or another prestigious venue. The 6th edition of the joint military exercise Dharma Guardian between India and Japan is being held. This exercise will take place from 25th February to 9th March at Mount Fuji in Japan. The objective of this exercise is to enhance interoperability between the two armies during joint urban warfare and counter-terrorism operations under the mandate of the United Nations. This exercise highlights the growing strategic partnership between India and Japan. It is noteworthy that the Dharma Guardian exercise is an annual training program. This military exercise has been conducted in India since 2018. Other exercises between India and Japan include JIMEX, Shinyu Maitri, etc. Speaking of India-Japan relations, India and Japan share strong ties in the fields of defense, science, cooperation, and trade. In 2014, India and Japan advanced their relations to achieve the level of a special strategic and global partnership. Notably, during the visit of India's Prime Minister to Japan in October 2018, the India-Japan Digital Partnership was launched. Additionally, regarding Mount Fuji, it is Japan's highest mountain. Its height is 3,776 meters. It is also known as Fuji-san. It is composed of countless basaltic lava flows. Its slopes are smooth and its base is wide and spread out. That's all for now in this bulletin. After the news, let's take a quick look at 5 questions related to the bulletin. Consider the following statements regarding the Election Commission of India. It is a permanent non-constitutional body. It was established by a parliamentary act. Currently, its chief is Gyanesh Kumar. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of the above. Next, consider the following statements regarding the fighter aircraft Su-57. It is a twin-engine stealth multi-purpose fighter aircraft. It was developed by Russia's Sukhoi company in December 2020. It is a 5th generation stealth multi-role fighter aircraft. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of the above. Next, consider the following statements regarding measles. It is a highly contagious and severe airborne disease. It is caused by a virus belonging to the paramyxovirus family. This virus generally infects the lungs. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of the above. Next, consider the following statements regarding BAFTA Awards 2025. It was held in Paris. This year, The Brutalist and Conclave won 4 awards each. All We Imagine as Light won the BAFTA Award for Best Non-English Language Film. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of the above. Next, consider the following statements regarding the military exercise Dharma Guardian. It is a joint military exercise between India and Japan. It is conducted once every 2 years. This military exercise has been held in India since 2019. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of the above. Recently, the Indian Space Research Organization has developed the world's largest propellant mixer for solid rocket motors. It is noteworthy that this mixture is the largest of its kind in the world for solid propellants. This mixture will play a crucial role in the thermal validation of solid rocket nozzles for spacecraft. This achievement will enhance India's self-reliance in space technology. It is worth mentioning that ISRO is India's leading space agency. It was established in 1969 and its headquarters are located in Bengaluru, Karnataka. Recently, the Union Minister for Jal Shakti, C.R. Patil, inaugurated the second All India State Water Ministers Conference in Udaipur, Rajasthan. The conference was attended by the Chief Ministers of Odisha and Tripura, the Deputy Chief Ministers of Himachal Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Karnataka, along with 30 ministers and more than 300 representatives. On the first day, discussions were held on the development and maintenance of water storage infrastructure. It is noteworthy that the Jal Jeevan Mission was launched in 2019. Its goal is to provide safe and sufficient drinking water to every rural household by 2024. Recently, senior BJP leader and Shalimar Bagh MLA Rekha Gupta has been appointed as the new Chief Minister of Delhi. This is the first time in 27 years that BJP has formed the government in the national capital. It is noteworthy that under Article 164 of the Indian Constitution, the appointment of the Chief Minister is made by the Governor, while the appointment of other ministers is done on the advice of the Chief Minister. Under Article 163, the Council of Ministers headed by the Chief Minister assists and advises the Governor in their functions. It is significant to mention that the duties of the Chief Minister are described under Article 167. Recently, the Prime Minister paid tribute to Swami Ramakrishna Paramhans on his birth anniversary. His birth anniversary is celebrated every year on 18th February. Swami Ramakrishna was born on 1836 in a Brahmin family in Bengal. His life was centered on the contemplation of God. His disciple Swami Vivekananda played a key role in establishing Ramakrishna's philosophy globally and founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1897. Swami Ramakrishna Paramhan's teachings and spiritual presence elevated individuals. His greatest contribution is the message of harmony among religions. Recently, the Soil Health Card has completed a decade. In fact, the Soil Health Card scheme was launched by the Prime Minister on 19th February 2015 in Suratgarh, Rajasthan. The Soil Health Card provides farmers with information about the nutrient status of their soil, along with recommendations for appropriate doses of nutrients to improve soil health and fertility. The Soil Health Card includes the condition of soil in relation to 12 parameters. Based on this, soil samples are generally taken twice a year after the harvest of Rabi and Kharif crops. Recently, the central government has approved the continuation of the PM Asha scheme through the 15th Finance Commission cycle. This has extended its tenure until 2025-26. The purpose of this scheme is to promote procurement operations, ensure fair prices for farmers, and stabilize prices of essential commodities for consumers. It is noteworthy that this scheme was launched in 2018. It is a comprehensive scheme to ensure the minimum support price for pulses, oilseeds, and copra. Recently, the Union Minister for Rural Development and Agriculture inaugurated the Naksha program in Raisen, Madhya Pradesh. The objective of this program is to create and update land records in urban areas. This program covers 152 urban local bodies in 26 states and 3 union territories. The estimated cost of this program is Rs 194 crore, which will be fully financed by the Government of India. The digitization of land records is modernizing land ownership management in rural India and addressing challenges like complex paperwork and ownership disputes. Recently, there has been a sharp rise in seasonal flu cases in the United States. The flu has surpassed COVID-19 to become the most fatal respiratory diseases in California, US. According to the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, flu activity peaked last week in the United States. It is worth mentioning that several complications have been observed in severe flu cases, including a dangerous brain disease called acute necrotizing encephalopathy. This disease, especially found in children, has a mortality rate of approximately 50%.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.